Let me talk a little bit more about the true value assessment, because from time to time the fund has had several questions about the contribution it does to the economy. We took a study last year and we actually hired a consultant who was KPMG, but it was not the local entity. It was actually their Amsterdam office that looked at the fund's operations in the last 10 years to the year ended 30th of June 2024. They looked at our investment program, they looked at the benefits we pay, they looked at the fund's operations in terms of the staff we employ, the water we consume, our climate activities, to mention but some. According to that study, the consultant was able to establish that the fund had contributed around 60 trillion over the last years in terms of the activities it undertakes in the economy of Uganda. Now, to give you context, last year the fund had a total asset base of 22 trillion. From the performance which we have just concluded, the fund's total assets have increased to 26 trillion. That is an increase of about 17.5 or 18%. Now you compare the 60 trillion that cumulatively the fund has been able to contribute to the economy of Uganda in the last 10 years. Now in the year ended June 2024 alone, that financial year, the fund managed to generate in excess of 32 trillion in the Ugandan economy. Now compare the 32 trillion to the 22 trillion, which was the total assets of the fund. The simple answer to that question is basically that the fund is doing a lot in the economy of Uganda. Now, in terms of total number of jobs, again, according to that study, the consultant managed to establish that the fund had supported around 1.9 million jobs over the last 10 years to the year ended June 2024. We saw the Ugandan Stock Exchange increase by 40%, the Nairobi Stock Exchange increased by 25%, the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange increased by 17%, and the Rwanda Stock Exchange increased by 3%. But the good news for our savers is that in terms of dividends, we saw our total dividend income increase by 36%. Last year, our total dividend income was about 170.5 billion, but the year that has recently ended, we saw it grow to 238 billion. And that is on account of some very good stocks where we saw dividends that were at record levels. To give you some examples, in MTN alone, the fund managed to get 61 billion. In Airtel, the fund got 36 billion. In Stanbic Bank, the fund got almost 14 billion, which is double which we had gotten before. I can go on and on, but I think the big takeaway is that our investment strategy in terms of the region was actually very good, because if the market in Uganda is performing at 40%, and then you're seeing our dividend income from some of the Ugandan stocks in excess of 50%, that is a very great return, and actually members are going to benefit from the interest that is going to be declared from that performance.